and now it's escalating. We'll cover that when we get back. We are back live. Thank you for joining us. So Turkey says they're going to dispatch warships in international waters and that they're going to aid these ships in going into Gaza. You see, Israel doesn't own Gaza. That is a, quote, Palestinian territory. But Israel doesn't recognize the Hamas government there. Nor do they recognize Hezbollah elements in Lebanon. The problem is, I happen to have the Jerusalem Post in Haaretz going back 6 years ago, where the Israeli government admitted that in 1974, they created Hamas as a counterbalance against Hezbollah. Now, why would a government create another terrorist organization, as they call it? And they're calling the people fighting back with metal rods terrorist. Look, folks, it's a war. It's a war, okay? It's tribal warfare. These people hate each other. They've been killing each other for thousands of years. How long ago was David there? How long ago did he kill the Philistine? That's how long this has been going on. It's been going on for hundreds of years before that. It's a war, okay? Let's stop being children. Now, you can pick which side of the war you want to be on. Me, I'm neutral on it. I'm sick of it. It's mindless idiocy. If these people would just get along and work together and live together and spend the money on peaceful industry instead of killing each other, they'd all be wealthy. But we live in a military-industrial complex. And believe me, if you think the U.S. is a military-industrial complex, the only country in the world per capita that spends more on defense, that's per capita, is Israel. It's all about war. That's how their government keeps control of their press and their own population, is through always having those outside threats. And this is not going to go well for Israel. Israel is becoming more and more isolated, more and more an international pariah. And the UN, of course, will condemn this, but the Security Council will veto it because the UN is a fraud and a joke. The UN is a globalist organization. The General Assembly, made up of tin-horn dictators and corrupt third world nations, it has no power. Okay? And it's just as illegitimate as the Security Council run by the wealthy Western states. It's all New World Order. See, people always think, oh, it's got to be one group's good and the other group's bad. That's not how history works most of the time. You've got Iran, run in many cases by a bunch of lunatics. You've got Israel, run by a bunch of lunatics. You've got our government, run by a bunch of globalist lunatics. You got England, run by a bunch of globalist lunatics. It's all just criminals. What did the founding fathers say? They said, you better keep government small. You better jealously guard liberty. And even if you do guard it and fight for freedom, you're probably going to be a slave. But if you start thinking you don't have to be involved societally, if you start thinking that, oh, your work's done, you can just ride off into the sunset. If you start thinking that you have no place in life except to entertain yourself, you're going to become some type of slave. All right, I'm going to stop preaching. Continue with the news. So we have Israel stationing nuclear missile subs off Iran, Times of London. 3 German-built Israeli submarines equipped with nuclear cruise missiles are to be deployed to the Gulf near the Iranian coastline. The first has been sent in response to Israel's fears that ballistic missiles developed by Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah. Hezbollah has got a rocket that can maybe shoot 80 miles. Oh, just like Saddam could blow up London in 45 minutes. Oh, he's got rail guns. He's got satellites. He's got EMP weapons. Oh, he's got WMDs. Nope, all lies. We know who's got nukes, and it's not Iran. The first has been sent in response to Israeli fears that ballistic military development by Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah, a political and military organization in Lebanon, could hit sites in Israel, including air bases and missile launchers. The submarines, a flotilla of 7, Dolphin, Takuma, and Leviathan, have visited the Gulf before, but the decision has now been taken to ensure a permanent presence of at least one of the vessels. The flotilla's commander, identified only as Colonel O, told an Israeli newspaper, "We are an underwater assault force. We're operating deep and far, very far from our borders. Each of the submarines has a crew of 35 to 50, commanded by a colonel capable of launching a nuclear cruise missile." All by himself. Oh, yeah, in the U.S., you got to have two people. Nuh-uh, not with Israel. 400 nukes, and they had a member of the Knesset, 5 years ago, threatened to nuke Europe if they didn't give more reparations to Israel. I mean, look, folks, now it's come out, Israel admits they gave nukes to South Africa because South Africa gave them race-specific bioweapons. I mean, and Israel is wild, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen this over and over and over again. Now you've got wild card colonels running around with cruise missiles that can go thousands of miles with nukes. Let me tell you, I'm concerned about our own military with nukes. I'm concerned about the Russians. I'm concerned about Kim Jong-il. I'm concerned about South Africa. I'm concerned about the French. I'm concerned about the British. What was it, 4 years ago, 3 years ago? We had 2 nukes, cruise missiles, go missing from Minot, Dakota. Just remember that? It was in the news. Our own government can't keep a hold of the stinking things. I'm actually got a headache right now, just even thinking about this. The world is getting more and more insane by the minute. And notice, as I said at the start of the show, it's as if someone flipped a light switch, and now you've got Turkey with a huge military, very well trained, very serious, very Western, ladies and gentlemen, very European. Wasn't too long ago that it was Constantinople, ladies and gentlemen, not Istanbul. And they're now talking about this causing a war with Israel. Turkey's been their ally. You understand, folks, that Egypt's their ally and saying this could cause a war. Same thing's coming out of Jordan right now that is in a lip lock with Israel. Because what does this do? When Israel does this, the Arab populations of all these countries and the Muslim populations get more restless, more ready to burn cities. And what has the political correctness done? Brought in masses of Islamicists, masses of Muslims into the Western world. And look, this isn't political correct talk. This isn't anti-political correct talk. This isn't anti-Muslim talk here. This is real meat and potatoes, geopolitical board. What is on the board? I'm a political atheist. I love it when Gerald Celente explains that. I agree. I don't look at the Republicans and say I owe something to them, and so I'll tailor what I say to fit into that paradigm. Or I'm a Democrat, or I'm pro-Israel, or I'm anti-Israel, or I'm pro-U.S., or I'm anti-U.S. I don't let that color my analysis. I'm pro-U.S. because our Bill of Rights and Constitution is the best, and because it's my heritage, and because the globalists want to dismantle my republic. But somebody can't just wrap something in an American flag and tell me launching a bunch of illegal wars that bankrupt my country is good for my country and tell me that they say what's patriotic. No. And again, Mike Rivero is coming up. We're going to be discussing this with him. But now you've got all these countries, Syria, Lebanon, Turkey. I mean, Turkey does not ever bluff, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Turkey is serious business. It's very serious. And Turkey now says they're going to dispatch warships with another flotilla, and they're going to go into Gaza. And you know what's going to happen if the Israelis attack that? What are they going to say? They thought the Turkish ships were Egyptian again, like the USS Liberty in 1967? Well, they're not at war this time with Egypt. I mean, how are they going to finagle that? How are they going to wrangle that, ladies and gentlemen? How are they going to finesse that? It isn't going to happen. And the United States has got nukes inside of Turkey. And Turkey in the last 2 years, it's come out that a shadow state run by Europe and the U.S. has basically been running things there and has been overthrown. So see, Turkey, and there's some mainstream reports saying Israel did this to the Turkish flagged ship, this converted huge cruise ship, because they're mad that Turkey's actually gotten a real government that isn't a puppet government. Look, I don't know. I just know that that those Muhammad cartoons caused Muslims to burn a lot of major buildings in major cities. And so what is the method of the globalist madness? You've got all these let me tell you why I don't like the Israeli lobby, folks, because, I mean, the truth is the truth. The Israeli lobby, to a man, lobbies for gun control in the U.S., but every Israeli gets to own guns. I don't appreciate that. Rahm Emanuel, Chucky Schumer, Lieberman. You know, how come Israel gets to have guns, but we don't? I don't like that. Keep your hands off my guns. I don't like the fact that the Israeli lobby is constantly lobbying for open borders in this nation and lobbying to bring more Muslims into the country.